Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Mortar of pie, there's nothing we will not hear. Hey, I wish I was, a movie maker. This is good enough for, what do you call this? Primordial kind of movies that they make in the Nigerian film industry. They say that two men also have pied over a mortar that has been named a mortar of pie, mortar of dirt. Yes. Now, something happened. I made mention of it in the first time. If you have been following the trend, if you have been following what has been going on, Ooni of Ife was in Kazakhstan to attend a forum. But he left before that forum was completed. He left because he needed to be in the palace to perform certain rituals to, aid Iyanifa and other diviners into getting 3 very strong spiritual materials for Queen Naomi's full moon ritual. And why was it so difficult? It was difficult because somebody was somewhere doing something to ensure that that process was never successful. So Kabiyesi had to kind of come back. Now, after he was able to do the rituals he needed to do and all of that, it paved way for them. They were able to get that arches that they said they got from Iroko, some of those things they said they required. I don't have them. Like, I cannot begin to tell you except I go back to that information that they sent to me that day. Now they have succeeded in getting 11 items, remaining only 2. And those 2 have been very difficult. Now, while they were trying to get all of these materials, they knew that somebody was somewhere, somebody was doing something. They knew that something was wrong. They just knew that somebody was somewhere doing something that shouldn't be. They knew that something was obviously wrong. So, it was a native doctor in Ile-Ife that was using mortar to cover the path of the diviners, not to get these materials. So now you do know that after Kabiyesi came, and one of the most difficult materials for them to have gotten, they were able to get it. After the incantation and everything, the ritual that Kabiyesi had to do, they got one remaining too. Now, in this native doctor's desperation to ensure that they do not get it, because mortars are heavy. They said the mortar that he used was very heavy. But, as heavy as it is physically, they would turn it to a spiritual material, maybe heavier than that. Now, because they succeeded in getting that arches from that Iroko that they talked about, they said the native doctor did not like it. So he ordered for a bigger mortar. They say 100 kg, 100 kg, 100 kg mortar. 100 kg mortar, do you know what that would be? And 2 men were supposed to bring the mortar. 4 men were supposed to transport the mortar to Ile-Ife. Now, while they were coming on the road, the man was still using the old one that he was using that he feels is not as heavy, that he needed a heavier one that would not give them any opportunity to be able to get what they are looking for. But he was still using the other mortar to do his evil. Now, while he was using that mortar to cover the path, they found out, and they resisted him in a way that he could not, survive. They said he pied. They said he pied. The news just broke out that that native doctor pied. Now, when he pied, these other people were on their way with the 100 kg mortar. They were coming with the 100 kg mortar. They didn't even know that this one had pied. They did not know. Then on this 100 kg mortar, they said Naomi's name and Kabiyesi's name was on the bottom of the mortar that they used. They carved the names there and everything. And they brought the mortar to the boundary of Ile-Ife. That was where this man, that is the native doctor, his own men were supposed to come there and get the mortar. This is what we are hearing. They said this mortar was not meant for, cooking, pounding yam or anything other. It was a deeply spiritual device designed for ritual blocking, meant to absorb, contain, and, hold back the spiritual forces working to reunite Queen Naomi and the Ooni of Ife. This native doctor who had secretly been fighting against Queen Naomi returned to the palace, believed that by creating a physical and spiritual prison for their destinies, he would delay or completely prevent the final full moon ritual from taking place. He believed that once this mortar was charged and used in his shrine, no amount of prayer or sacrifices would be enough to undo its effect. Now, because of how spiritually sensitive and dangerous the mortar was, the native doctor didn't trust anyone to deliver it to him. He handpicked two strong men from a neighboring town known for their loyalty and discretion. These men were paid handsomely and given specific instruction to collect the mortar from the sacred potter who made it and bring it to the native doctor's hidden shrine just outside Ile-Ife. But you would have entered Ile-Ife by the time you get to that position. The mortar was sealed in a large wooden crate and loaded into a specifically prepared vehicle. But from the very moment it was lifted, strange things began to happen. The mortar reportedly, warned them that the object was, spiritually active, that they must not open the crate or try to look inside them. And that was what they said the porter had told them. Okay, he told them that the names written inside the mortar carried the spiritual fire, and anyone who approached it without the right covering or protection could face serious consequences. Unfortunately, the warnings were not taken seriously. Midway into their journey, just outside the ancient city of they said the ancient city of Madakeke, the vehicle stopped. The two men got out reportedly to stretch their legs and check on the load. It was then that one of them became curious. He opened the crate and removed part of the cloth wrapping the mortar. The moment he lifted the cloth, according to eyewitnesses, he screamed and collapsed. His partner tried to help, but within a minute, he too began shouting. That was, how they collapsed. Locals rushed into the scene thinking it was a medical emergency, but what they found was baffling. Two men, strong, healthy men, lay down beside an unbroken, untouched mortar that seemed to be radiating heat, even though it was early morning. A traditionalist nearby recognized the markings on the cloth and immediately advised everyone to stay away. The entire area was cleared and spiritual elders were summoned. This is how this whole drama happened, though. When the spiritual team finally explained the mortar, what they saw confirmed their worst fears. Inside the basin of the mortar, etched clearly into the clear, where the names Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunsi, the Ooni of Ife, and Queen Naomi Shinokunola Ogunsi. Around those names were circular incantations meant to tie both of them spiritually to the mortar, binding their souls and destiny from ever reuniting. This was no ordinary object. This was a ritual weapon. Some people have so much guts. You go and do something like this for the Ooni of Ife and you think you will live. Instead of those small jazz that those Oloris are doing, think this one they did heavy jazz, and that is why it backfired immediately. The elders immediately sealed the mortar and began the process of neutralizing its energy, but it wasn't easy. The sheer weight of the item, both physical and spiritual, made it difficult to move. One of the elders collapsed from exhaustion. Another began vomiting uncontrollably after just touching it with a protected glove. That same day, word reached Queen Naomi's spiritual team. The discovery of the mortar explained everything. Why the full moon ritual, word reached Ooni of Ife. Ooni of Ife could not believe his eyes, like his ears, like he was just like he could not believe what he was hearing. The enmity, the animosity, the anger, the way people are fighting to keep Queen Naomi away from him is something that is very, very as in Kabiyesi could not believe it. And Kabiyesi knows that Queen Naomi is part of his destiny. Queen Naomi is very important to that destiny, to his kingship. And Kabiyesi knows the reason why these people continue to fight and fight and fight, and they have been fighting non-stop. This is what has happened. They say those two men, they fight like that. Meanwhile, the Ogadi native doctor also fight this way. Going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.